both listening and watching today for what I know is going to be a great conversation with a guest today that is very accomplished, very knowledgeable, and I have to believe extremely busy. Her name is Rachel Cosgrove, and a brief background on her. She has earned her degree from University of California, Santa Barbara, holds a CSCS through the NSCA, and is a certified U.S. Olympic weightlifting coach and a U.S. triathlon coach. Among other certifications and accomplishments, she also is certified through the International Society of Sports Nutrition, as well as Precision Nutrition. You've seen her work in women's health, muscle and fitness, oxygen, among other publications. She is also co-owner of Results Fitness and the author of the newly released Age Strong, a women's guide to feeling athletic and fit after 40. Today, she's going to tell us about the book and a lot about her experiences as a coach and trainer, specifically working for women. So thank you so much, Rachel. Probably could have gone on for another 5 minutes or so explaining all of your accolades. So I hope I didn't miss anything in that intro there.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the very thorough introduction.
Right. So I did give a little background there, but I'm always interested in hearing directly from the source, and especially hearing the why. Why did you get into fitness? Why did you decide to make this a career? And I guess how did it all happen? How have you got to this point?
Oh, that's just a real easy, short answer.
Right.
Easy one to start with. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. I see a lot of people jumping in, and thanks guys for joining us. So for me, this has been, yes, a lifelong journey. Now that I am a woman over 40, I'm actually 49, heading towards 50. Looking back, gosh, I got into fitness when I was, really, it started as a dance background, and then, wanted to figure out how to look and feel my best. And so started to get more and more into fitness. And as I did that, I realized strength training was what I landed on. Got my degree, like you mentioned, and, and started to work with women and, clients. And gosh, at this point, I've been coaching women for it's 30 years, I think now.
Okay.
We've had our gym 24 years, so it's crazy how long I've been doing this, and I still love it. And I still love working with women to help them to reach their potential. But it really did start with my own journey. And then, really growing up in a family that did struggle with obesity. And, I've always loved to be active and always wanted to, figure out how to feel my best. And so strength training was what I landed on, started to get, into strength and conditioning and lifting weights and realizing, okay, I really feel good. Not only, how your body feels, but how your mind feels and how empowering strength training can be. And so, my first book years ago was really, I was wanting to introduce more women to the strength and conditioning floor and really get women to feel comfortable to go into the gym and, feel like they could load a squat rack and they could, like not feel intimidated. And I think that's one of the things that so many women feel intimidated by strength training. And so really, helping them to feel confident and to know what to do. And I love that. I think we've made a lot of progress. I think a lot more women do hit the weights and they do, head to the gym to not just walk on the treadmill, but to actually, go in and push the guys out of the way and say, hey, those weights are for me. And so, and over those years, so since we opened our gym 24 years ago, we've had women join our gym that were in their 40s, 30s and 40s, back 24 years ago, and now in their 60s and 70s. And so I was 25 when we opened our gym. I was a 25-year-old trainer, and had all these 40-something-year-old clients that were telling me, oh, you just wait till you're in your 40s, it's going to be a lot harder, right? And I always would tell them, oh, nah, it's not going to get harder, right? And then there I was in my 40s. And as I approached 40, I actually was having, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a statistic, right? I don't want to be a statistic because I had been gaining like a little bit of weight every year. And I'd become more sedentary. I wasn't coaching as much on the coaching floor. And so I was traveling more. And, lifestyle just had gotten away, I call it the slippery slope. It's like, it's just little bits, right? And you start to realize, I'm starting to go in. It's like, I think when we hit our 40s, there's two paths. We're either going to, head on that slippery slope where we're going to start, gaining fat, losing muscle, losing our function, getting more injured, really down a path that's going to be a harder road, or
Right.
we take control and we take action and we start to strength train and start to really, build muscle, build strength, do the things we can to get ourselves on the right path. And so, as I did, then I really started to look at our clients and go, okay, hang on, you guys all back when I was 25, remember, because they're still clients. That's the cool part is,
Right.
they still come to our gym, and, now they're all in their 60s, and I'm in my 40s. And
Mhm.
so some of them in their 70s. And so that's really what this book was. This book was about me, kind of a selfish reason.
You're right.
I was like, let's sit down with all these clients. And in the book, I have pictures, all the models are clients of Results Fitness. The cover model is one of our clients who's been with us for, gosh, 20 something years. She started
Okay.
with us, similar story. And so, really just sitting down with all of them and going, okay, let's talk. Like, I know
Mhm.
we've been coaching you, we've led you on this journey. But at the same time, each of them had their own journey. And so really finding what were the commonalities and what really helped them to get to where they want to be. So that's what really, inspired me to write the book, was to,
Okay.
really start to figure out what works and how are all of our clients. I literally have seen them reach their peak health and fitness
Mhm.
in their 50s, that like, and that's what's always been in my head is, I know that in your 50s you can reach your peak health and fitness. I've seen it over and over and over again. And so making sure that I can share that with more women, and then also with more coaches. And that's really what it's about. Is I do believe that having a coach is the fastest way and the
Mhm.
easiest way to get results. And so I want to help as many coaches to have the tools to help their clients, so we can help as many people as we can.
Well, and I know that I know for sure that you do that in a number of different facets. I know you're busy in a lot of different areas within this industry. I do want to get a little deeper into a lot of those things that you just mentioned, but something that stood out right away is that confidence factor. Now, I know, I mean, there could be a lot of women, maybe just people in general, that are maybe a little reluctant to get started training, and they think of the idea of a gym, like their image is a bunch of big guys pushing a lot of really heavy weight, and they think that's not for me, or I don't fit in there. And they, or maybe a lot of people think that you already have to be in shape. I've heard that one too before you get into a gym. So from some of your experiences, how have you kind of helped individuals get over that maybe lack of confidence, and just to really kind of get started from the get-go?
Yeah, I think the first key is having a plan to follow.
Okay.
Because if you don't know what to do, that's an easy way to feel like if you're lost, or I'm not
Mm.
sure what equipment to use or where to, what exercises to do. I mean, having a plan.
Okay.
So by having a plan, which, this book actually does have a 16-week plan in
Yep.
it. So it's all laid out for you. So yeah, you just pick up the book, you got yourself a plan. And the plan does include, exercises that, are barbell, dumbbell, and then pulley system. Like
Mhm.
pretty much, a lot of what's in the program, you can get done with, not too much equipment. So I don't use a lot of machines, a lot of seated machines. So
Mhm.
you're probably gonna, whether you want to set up a lot of people have set up really fantastic home gyms. That
Okay.
can be an option. I would just say, if you're going to do a home gym, just go all in and like really get what you need. I think a lot of people think, I'm going to get one pair of dumbbells and call it my home gym. And I'm like, well, that's not really going to be long term. Like, how are we going to progress you, and where are we
Right.
going? So if you're going to do a home gym, you do have to be ready to make the investment in yourself, in your health, to get a setup that you're going to be able to progress yourself over time, and you're going to have enough, weight to be able to keep progressing and getting stronger. Or find a gym where you do feel comfortable. And like I mentioned, getting a coach is not a bad
Yeah.
idea. I know, for a lot of people, they may think like, oh, well, only celebrities get personal trainers, but that's not the case. Like, it's getting a personal trainer, getting a coach, like the model that we have at Results Fitness, where it's semi-private. So it's not one-on-one. It's more affordable, and it's something that you can sustain for the long term working with a coach. And I think you do want to find a coach that you trust, somebody that, can help you. I do think that's a really key piece to, getting started, because I think, of course not. I think anything else we do, in life, like anybody that's good at something, they usually have a coach that helps them,
Sure.
whether they're an athlete, whether, if you have I mean, a lot of people probably work with financial advisors. They probably work with, people that advise them on things. But then when it comes to exercise, they just try to do it on their own. And
Right.
and there's experts out there that want to help you. So find yourself a coach, get yourself a plan. Having those two things, then your confidence, like, is pretty quickly you'll have the tools you need to feel confident.
And it's something that maybe goes along with that confidence factor. And I know something you mentioned specifically is if you're setting up your home gym, maybe you'll get like one set of dumbbells or something like that. Um, Women might think that that's all they need because that's all that they're going to be able to lift, and they don't know their true strength, and really what they can achieve overall. So again, from your experiences, I know you coached a lot of women throughout your career. What are some of those maybe markers or kind of standards that women can look at and maybe use those as kind of like initial goalposts to say like, hey, I can accomplish this, and then I can keep going on to keep furthering their fitness journey after that?
Sure. So I think we do have in the book. There's a whole. I give a grid of all the different base strengths. Kind of an idea of what should you be able to lift, if that's kind of what
Yeah.
you're looking for. So that will give you step by step exactly what what you do want to try to lift. I don't like to give like a lot of numbers, because I do think wherever you're at, you want to progress,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you're starting with, and I always like use the analogy of how much does your purse weigh, because
Sure.
a lot of women don't think about that. They're like, oh, or their kid, right? Like a lot of
Yeah.
like they go to the gym and they lift like 12 to 15 pound weights, and then they go home and pick up their 30-pound kid,
Right.
and it's like your body's not going to change if you aren't lifting what it's not used to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if your daily life includes picking up a 30-pound kid, then we probably need to go to the gym and go, okay, let's try the 35-pound dumbbells and see if we can do a set with those. So depending on what the exercise is, chest press, rows, squats, deadlifts. Those are some of our favorites for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely have some, being able to do a push-up, is one of the things that
Right.
we try to get our women, pretty quickly to be able to do. I think a lot of women for years have been told you can't do a push-up because you're a woman, so do your push-up on your knees.
Yeah.
But by doing an incline push-up and then working your way down to the floor, you're building a strong core. You can absolutely be able to do push-ups. And so that's one of the main big exercises in the beginning. We really, in this program, is try to get people to where they can do a push-up, get women to help them get a push-up. So that's a basic body weight exercise. So, there's no weight with that one, but really just thinking through, and wherever you are now, let's make a goal to progress and start setting, some goals to get to where you want to be.
And I'm sure you've seen a lot of progression and a lot of success stories over the years. And one of the things that I do love about this book is that you use testimonials from a lot of your members, a lot of your clients. And for everyone listening, these aren't made up scenarios that might have happened in a gym. You tell their names, how long they've been a member. So what are some of those success stories and maybe some of those accomplishments that you've seen a lot of those women, make or achieve? And maybe they weren't so confident at the beginning, but you kind of help them through and really see what they were able to accomplish and how much they really can do.
Yeah. I mean, for example, we've had, like one woman who joined our gym. She was in her 50s, and she realized she was actually active, most of her life. She was actually a PE instructor,
Okay.
and then had ended up with a back injury and had, basically slippery slope, ended up starting to, have more and more injuries and just not feeling herself. And her big moment was when she realized she had grandkids, her first grandkids, and she was taking care of one of her grandkids and realized she didn't feel confident to carry her grandkid up the stairs.
Okay.
And she had a moment of like, oh my gosh, like I am afraid I'm going to drop my grandkid. Like this is like, like not okay. Like this is not who I am. And that's what she said, this is not who I am. And so that was her moment. And she decided to come hire us and came into Results Fitness and started to strength train with us. And, she even tells the story of the first workout we gave her, it felt very simple.
Hmm.
She was like, I don't know how this is going to get anything done. And it was like, because we were having her do a small step up, right?
Right.
And so she was, strengthening her balance and, getting her to where she could progress. And so over time, she strength got stronger and stronger and stronger. And, we basically, saw her progress. I mean, she's been with us now for years. She's in her 70s now, and
Wow.
she tells the story of how, she used to be at the grocery store and have to ask people to get the water bottles for her to put onto her
Hmm.
grocery cart. And she goes, now I watch for people so that I can say, hey, can I help you with that? And so she goes over and helps them with their grocery cart, right? Go
Yeah.
get their, carry their big thing of water. And so she now can deadlift. I think she's deadlifting, I don't even remember. I want to say, 200 pounds or something. And,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
she's like, she's doing awesome. And so, and then the cool part is now, her grandkids are grown, they're growing
Mhm.
up, playing volleyball, playing, lots of
Right.
sports. And so she goes to all their sporting events, of course, but not only does she go to all their sporting events, for instance, like when she went to watch one of their volleyball games or one of their basketball games, she realized that all of the older people were sitting down on the bottom bleacher because they
Right.
didn't want to hike up the bleachers, right?
Uh-huh.
But she hiked her way right up to the bleachers and got her best seat in the house because she felt confident that she had the balance to be able to do that.
Mhm.
And then there's another story about when she showed up at the park, the family were playing a volleyball game at the park. And instead of sitting and watching,
Mhm.
she jumped in and played volleyball with her grandkids,
Nice.
and she was
Yeah.
like, these are the moments that this is what it's about. This is what aging strong is about. It's about being able to have those moments with your family and be able to jump in and say, yes, I can, and not be afraid to play volleyball with your kids, or get the better
Mhm.
seat, or whatever it might mean for you, and so just being able to do the things that you want to be able to do.
Right. And that's such an awesome story too. And I think really important. One of the reasons that I love that you put it in the book, or stories like that in the book, is that I mean that just has to help other people who might not be as confident or might not really see the true benefit. And if they can see someone that's relatively the same age as them, that maybe hasn't worked out exercise in a while, then they can say, hey, like maybe I can do that too, or maybe I should start doing that. um, what I guess I know that you've probably had clients for a really long time. Have you had maybe a client that just started training, when she was 40 or when she was 50 or 60, and kind of seen those results, and kind of maybe their reaction of, what they were able to accomplish when maybe they didn't think that they were going to be able to at that age compared to like a 20-year-old?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is that you can get stronger no matter
Mm,
what age you're at. And if you start to realize it's not too late. I think that's, a lot of people
right.
think, oh, it's too late. I'm old. I already hurt, I'm already,
Mm,
it's like, and so they don't try, and it's like, then they end up continuing down that same path.
yeah.
Whereas if they try, like in that story I just told, her name is Jan,
Mhm.
like she decided, I'm going to go do something about this, and
Yeah.
actually take action. You can, no matter what age you're at. So we've
Mhm.
had women, yeah, that have joined in their 60s and their 70s. We had one woman in her 60s, bilateral knee replacement, couldn't get down on the
Mm.
floor and back up. And doctor actually told her, you need to start going to the gym.
Oh,
And,
okay.
was like, and she came in and she did not want to be there, it was
Right.
like, I don't want to be here, but my doctor said I have to, kind of thing. And so
Yeah.
we got her started, and over time, she ended up doing a mud run. She ended up doing a triathlon, and then she ended up
Wow.
getting into powerlifting. And
Okay.
she ended up going to the world championships for powerlifting. Like she got into it. Like she found her
Wow.
athlete, And here she is in her 70s, and so there's not a whole lot of powerlifting athletes that are in their 70s. So
Right.
the competition is, maybe there's not a lot of people, but that's the whole point, right? Like
Right.
she showed up, she lifted the weight, and she got to, she went to the world championship. So she actually traveled to Russia, of all places, to go to the world championships. This was like in 2018 or 2019.
Mhm.
Yeah, we sent one of our coaches with her, and I see some of our clients are on. I see Josh is on. He's like, Mama
Oh, nice.
Sue, because
Yeah.
he knows.
Right.
Yeah, her name is Sue, and yeah, she went to the world championships and she won a gold medal. And so here we are,
Wow.
this woman who came into our gym who, you probably wouldn't have guessed she would have been our world champion gold medal athlete, right?
Right.
Like that wouldn't have been my prediction, but you just never know, right? You just never
Mhm.
know what you're capable of, and what, as you start to, gain strength and start to set goals and start to realize, oh my gosh, I could, like, whatever I decide, I can accomplish. And it's really just about making that decision of, wanting to get better, get stronger, get fitter. And, I mean, like Josh, who's on here, shout out to Josh.
Yeah.
He's actually doing Spartan races right now, and so he's, it's like, what are some of your goals? And I talk about the obstacle course races in the book, because
Mhm.
that's something that I got into. It was in my 40s,
Right.
and realizing, like, you can learn a new skill. Like, I learned to do the monkey bars, I learned to climb a rope in my 40s,
Mhm.
like I had never done that before. And I think, here's people in their 40s going, oh, well, it's too late. I can't, I'm not going to ever do anything. It's up to you.
Yep.
Like, you can really decide to do whatever you want at whatever point, whether you're in your 50s, 60s, even 70s, 80s,
Mhm.
we're all the way up. I mean, that's my goal, is I want to keep, staying active right through. So I think that's, something that the more you decide that that's what you're going to do, and you're going to take control of that,
Mhm.
you can get stronger. There's no reason why you can't.
That reminds me, I saw a reel on Instagram, I think just last week, and it's obviously a Masters Division sprint. These guys were doing a 100 meter, and there was a guy, I'm pretty sure it said he was around 100 years old, and of course it said that he set a world record for his age group. There probably aren't too many 100-year-olds that are sprinting like that, but he was moving, he was getting down the track, and I think that, like your client, I also don't know too many 70-year-old women powerlifters, so that's very impressive. So congrats to her there. But yeah, such great stories there, and I think really motivational for a lot of people, like you said, that maybe they get to 40, maybe even their late 30s, and think, I'm done competing. Like there's nothing I can do at this point. But you're proving right there that it is possible, and you can't keep moving like that. So
Yeah, and I think
those are
that's
awesome.
part of what I talk about in the book. I think for so long, a lot of the women that I talk to, they when they first joined our gym in their 30s or 40s, most important was weight loss. They wanted to lose
Yeah.
weight. They wanted to look a certain way. And
Mhm.
then now, in their 50s and 60s, most important is experiences. And
Mhm.
so, what can I do? And I talk about that in the book. Really think about, like, what do you want to be able to do? Because that's what's going to motivate you, and that's what's going to get you in the gym. That's what's going to get you lifting more weight. That,
Mhm.
because you want to be able to jump into the volleyball game with your grandkids, or you want to be able to, what are the things you want to be able to do? Maybe you want to water ski again. Maybe you want to,
Yeah.
what's something you used to be able to do that you can't do now that you want to be able to do, right? So
Right.
I think those goals are so much more powerful than, I want to lose 10 pounds,
Mhm.
so like, why do you want to lose 10 pounds? Is it because you want to be able to dance on the tables at the nightclub? Like, what's, what do we want to be able to do, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
that's what I want to know. So really tuning into that, I talk a lot about that in the book. And I think, I'm a big believer in goal
Yep.
setting at any point. I think, wherever you're at on your journey, really sitting down and thinking about, like, what are my goals, and why are these my goals, and why is this important to me?
Mhm.
And, that's what's going to give you that drive to be able to, because, if it is, you are intimidated, or you're not sure what to do, like, to find the answers, to pick up the book and follow the plan, or to find the coach, like, you do have to have that reason why,
Yep.
and you do have to have something that's motivating you. And that's something that, as a coach, we have to find that, or it's going
Yep.
to be hard for you to show up, right?
Right.
So I think, all of these stories of these clients that I'm telling, every single one of them, it's really, having a goal in mind that's important to them. And that's what drives them. That's why, they come into the gym and go, okay, I want to lift a heavier weight. I want to get stronger. I want to get
Mhm.
fitter. Knowing that as I get older, I want to be able to age strong and be able to continue to do the things I want to be able to do.
And I'm so glad you mentioned that. It's almost like you read my mind, because I was going to bring that up next, that you do have an entire chapter in the book on goal setting. Um, because I think we've all seen, or at least known, people that they know that they should exercise, they should strength train, but they don't know exactly what to do or why they're doing it necessarily. So everyone listening, that's why you get yourself a coach like Rachel, so that she can help you set those goals and really put a plan in place, right? So that you can actually see that progress too. Because I was hoping that you would talk a little bit about within that goal setting, you said to write it down, write down what you're accomplishing, write down what you want to do next.
Yeah, I think putting pen to paper is a really powerful way to, really link your mind to your goals and what you want to accomplish. And I think, whether you write it down in a journal or write it down on a sticky note and stick it on your mirror so you see it every day, but something where you do take some time to write it down and really think through what is it I want to accomplish. Absolutely. Yeah.
Something else that I love this particular conversation that we're having right now, but maybe especially with this particular age group that you're targeting, that we're talking about here, what are some of the other benefits of exercise and strength training? Because I know in the book you get into obviously like hormones and cortisol and things like that women 40 and older might need to pay a little more attention to, and those are probably some of the benefits that they do get from strength training too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's why strength training is more important for women over 40 than probably any other population, is because it does help with things like osteoporosis. So we've had, a number of women that have come into our gym with high risk or medium risk for bone loss, showing up on a scan, and then they start training with us. And a year later, they have minimal risk, no signs of osteopenia or osteoporosis. And so that's like, you can literally, keep yourself from and that's one of the big, as we age, falling and breaking something is like a very common way of ending up, in the hospital, or ending up, losing your independence. Right. And so instead, knowing that if you are strength training, you are actually building bone, so you're going to help to combat osteopenia and osteoporosis, for one. Two, you mentioned hormones. So definitely by strength training, it's going to help you to stabilize your hormones and really keep yourself where, even though, hormones are powerful, and all of us women know. And so as you go through perimenopause and menopause, there are going to be some hormonal fluctuations that are going to be happening. You are going to have, certain hormones are going to be dropping, certain hormones are going to be going up. But overall, if you are, strength training and you're fueling your body with good foods, so you're keeping your blood sugar stable, you can help to ease those hormone fluctuations quite a bit. So you really do have the power to kind of, make that an easier, time, right? And then, and so keeping your blood sugar stable, and then metabolism. So building muscle increases the number of calories you're burning, and will help. Like, I know that's one of the big complaints of women as they're in their 40s and 50s and going through perimenopause and menopause is, all of a sudden, like, I have a belly that I didn't have before. And, that can be from cortisol. It can be from the hormones that are changing. But you can actually help, by increasing your muscle mass, which will help you to burn more calories and keep your metabolism up. So, and then everything from, even anxiety, right? Like, I know I have a lot of clients who they purely come into workout as their anti-anxiety medication.
Yeah.
Like, this is their reset. They come in, they do their workout, and they're like, okay, now I'm good. And like, if they miss a workout, like, they end up having, like anxiety or, panic attacks. And it's like, they know that if I miss my workout, like, I am different. Like, I don't feel as good. And that's, something a lot of our women have realized and just connected, that I like, it is a non-negotiable. And I think that's one of the big things that came across from a lot of the women that are clients of ours, is that it became a non-negotiable for them, especially as they're in their 40s and 50s. It's like, I am going to get my workout done, and everything else in my life, will be better because of it. But nothing is getting in the way of my workout, because I know that I am my best if I can get my workout done. And that's everything from, their health, but also just their mental state, to, everything, how they're feeling. I actually told a story in the book about one of our clients. Her doctor actually told her, because she was like, I noticed she was having mood swings while she was going through menopause. And she was noticing that, some days she was super moody and she was trying to connect what it was. And they started to realize that the days she worked out, she wasn't having these mood swings. And basically, like, her hormones were probably more stable. And so he was like, well, you need to go work out more often. And I was like, what a great doctor. Like, putting her on some, medicine or something. She just said, go to the gym more. And I was like, that's fantastic. And so she did. So,
Yeah.
her husband was like, yes, go to the gym more. So, was like, that was like their whole family had this joke of like, if she was in a bad mood, they'd be like, Mom, did you go to the gym? And then she's like, no, I haven't. Why? So then I'm going to the gym. I'll see you guys later. So yeah, so you start to realize it's not just about physical benefits, but it's also about, the mental benefits as well.
Absolutely. I love that, doctor, too. Like, I wish more recommendations would be given to just go to the gym.
Right?
I think that's excellent advice, right?
Yeah.
Something I feel like our time is flying by right here. This has been a great conversation, but I do want to get to one more thing that I think is interesting and maybe just kind of fun to talk about is that you do have a section in the book about myths as far as, women training, what they should do, what they shouldn't do. And I think there are a lot of misconceptions there that women might not know the truth about. So what are some of those that are top of mind for you or that you might hear more frequently than others?
Yeah, I think the biggest ones that we hear most often are, I don't want to lift heavy weights because I don't want to get bulky, which, I understand, a lot of women don't want to start looking like a man. And so with that, I like, and I understand, I get it. Like I get, if you do have the body type that you are going to build muscle easily at this time in your life, we want muscle. Like muscle is a good thing. And that a woman is never, you're never going to get so bulky. It's hard to build muscle. Like I think when you start to realize how hard it is to put on a pound of muscle and how much work you have to do and how much weight you have to lift, and even for men who have much higher testosterone than us, they have to work really hard to build a pound of muscle. So for us,
Right.
it's like it's not just gonna all of a sudden sprout up all these muscles. Like it's gonna take a lot of hard work, and that's a goal. Like we want that muscle, and so really starting to shift that idea of I don't want to build muscle because I don't want to look bulky to I want muscle. It's what's going to help me to be strong and fit and toned and look how I want to look and feel how I want to feel and do, like I was mentioning, do the things I want to be able to do. And so really helping them to shift to want to build muscle. Yep. The other thing I think is, that walking or cardio, like I think a lot of women have that misconception that, if they're going to exercise, they're going to do some kind of cardio. And usually, the strength training is kind of like and maybe I'll lift a few weights,
right,
at the end of my cardio session.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like an afterthought. Instead, shift those priorities. And if you don't get to your cardio, get to your weight training. Like that's your number one priority. If you only have 2 hours a week, strength train. Like that's where you're going to get the most benefit. That's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck is from your strength training. So as much as, living an active lifestyle is important. And, I do talk about that in the book too, about, step count and, we want to keep you active. You want to keep you moving. But as far as, exercise, as far as, really purposeful exercise, really make your strength training your number one priority when it comes to time in your schedule. And you're going to see such huge benefits from that. Beyond, like I just see a lot of women think, oh, I'm going to go for a walk. That's going to be, in place of the strength training. So choose strength training whenever you get the chance, for sure.
Definitely. That reminds me, I had a client at one point, she was in her 60s and she loved to barbell bench press. She had healthy shoulders and everything. So I said, okay, that's fine. And every time she would get down for a bench press, she would get ready for her first rep and she would say, am I going to wake up tomorrow morning and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger? And I said, she knew that she wasn't, but she was joking about it because she knows that misconception too. So it was, that one was funny. But
the cool part is when you start having women like in our gym, there's hours where you walk in and there's just like, it's full of women all lifting heavy weights and they all look amazing, and like, when you look at them, you're like if you want to look like her, like you got to be able to lift what she lifts, which is a lot of weight, so you start to realize like, oh, okay, this is, and like building muscle is a good thing. I think, more and more women are realizing to embrace strength, embrace muscle, like being strong is good.
Definitely. So like I said, this has been an excellent conversation. I could probably talk to you all day about this type of thing. But I know that you have a business to run, you have clients to take care of, like the ones that we were just talking about. So if you are listening or watching right now and you haven't got your copy, definitely pick up your copy of Age Strong. do yourself a favor. You're going to get so much benefit from this. You can get it on our website, us.humankinetics.com. I know you can get it on Amazon too. I think I saw the other day, if I saw correctly, it was #1 seller right now. So
Is it?
I thought I saw that somewhere on
Okay.
Amazon. So
I know it hit #1 new releases, so that would be awesome.
That might have been what I saw.
Yeah. So come on, guys, help us get to bestseller if it's not.
Yep.
Go buy the book.
And if you are not a woman, if you don't think that you need this book, buy it as a gift. You know, you buy it for your mother. Mother's Day is coming up. Your sister, a friend, anyone. You're going to get a ton of benefit. Like Rachel mentioned earlier, there are, you know, full color photos, exercise descriptions, so much information from what we talked about and more that you're going to find in this. So
I do have to compliment Human Kinetics. Did such an amazing job. I mean, it's all color, you guys, like color photos. It's really beautiful, the exercise photos, and then it does have that whole 16-week program. So good job, Human Kinetics, on putting together a beautiful book.
And great job for you, by you, for all the information in it. So I sincerely thank you for your time. I will give you the last word here to kind of wrap it up and maybe let everyone know, you know, where they can continue following all the information that you put out, maybe connect if they're in the area with Results Fitness, and kind of move forward from there.
Sure. So so Results Fitness is in Santa Clarita. We're in Southern California. Our website is results-fitness.com. And we do have remote options. So even if you're not in the area and you want to work with one of our coaches, we can coach you remote as well. And then I'm most active on Instagram. So I'm also on Facebook too. So if you want to jump on my Instagram, rachelcosgrove.co, and you can join me there. And so the content I put out is everything from, you know, age strong and helping women to learn how to exercise, but also I put out a lot of content for coaches as well. So if you are a coach who's looking to, you know, grow your business, grow your coaching business, that's something that I also share a lot of as well.